Hi, I'm Mrs. Sinclair Maps, and I'm here to share with you how I use GeoInquiries in my classroom and how you can use them in any classroom, any subject. I'll even show you how they work in my own classroom. Let's get started. Okay, so first of all, this is a wonderful website if you've never seen a GeoInquiry before, because it breaks down for you not only all the different subjects that GeoInquiries are available for, as you can see here on this list, but also breaks down what a GeoInquiry looks like. A GeoInquiry is just a PDF that is everything you need to use a GIS, a Geographic Information Systems, interactive map in your classroom in a variety of ways. You could put it up on your projector and click around for the students as you just have a group discussion, or you can have students work in small groups, pairs, or individually. I've done them all and they work fantastically. So each GeoInquiry looks like this. It's a PDF with a front and a back. And as you can see here, the different parts of a GeoInquiry are numbered, and then you can see that there are standards, alignment available, the active link to a web map, etc., etc. I'm going to show you how this works in just a moment. So GeoInquiries are housed in this lovely collection. And here we can see the different collections are categories based on the US public school system, right? We have American literature, earth science, environmental science. Most of these are geared towards high school. I'm a middle school teacher and I've used them with 10 through 14-year-olds very successfully. So I think that they can be used for younger than the target audience. But you will see the words high school collection from time to time. You'll also see this one upper elementary category. So let's see what these look like. Let's say I am a world history teacher, or I teach history and I'm curious if there's a GeoInquiry for me. I click here to go to this collection, and I will see a bunch of level 1 activities. Now, my one critique is that I would never say that these are 15-minute activities. Even when I've done them from the front of the classroom where I am clicking around and guiding students, if you want a really rich GeoInquiry process, which means the way students are discovering answers for themselves, you're going to need an entire class period, so about 50 minutes. If you want students to click around the GeoInquiry themselves, it's about the same amount of time. Here are all the different topics in this collection. So I have 15 different GeoInquiries, all focused on world history here. And if I want to explore, for example, the Black Death, which is something that is taught at our school, I click here and it opens the PDF we were talking about earlier. Okay, now the PDF is geared towards teachers. You wouldn't hand this to students, and I'll explain why. First of all the answers are here, and that's great if you're a teacher new to GeoInquiries because you can make sure you're leading your students in the right direction. Everything with an arrow is something that you or your students click, depending on if you're doing it at the front of the classroom or you're having students do it. And then the question marks are questions for students. Now, you might already be thinking, before I even show you the GIS interactive map, well, wouldn't it be nice if they had this as like a Google Doc where students could type or write their answers? Am I going to have to write that out myself? It's okay. They've got you. If I go back to this first link, getting to know GeoInquiries, way down at the bottom they say, hey, would you prefer to use student worksheets? And they've got this great collection of student worksheets for every single GeoInquiry. So here I'll just come down to world history, which is what we're looking at together right now. I'll open that folder. This is public, so it's available for anybody. I'll go to Trade and the Black Death, and let's just see what it looks like, what the student version looks like. I know a lot of schools use Google Docs. My school does, so you can either just make a copy of this document and share it directly with students, or you could print it out. Okay, same exact questions, just a slightly different look. So this is what you would give to students for the GeoInquiry. Well, now let's see how a GeoInquiry actually works by clicking this link. Here we go. Okay, so I've clicked the link and this is what opens up. It's a big map that at first glance just looks like the display of a map, the image of a map, but it's really interactive. If I look over here on the left, I can see the legend, but if I click the content button in the middle of this area, you can see that I can turn layers on and off. It'll just take a moment for this to load. Here we go. Let's do overland trade routes. That'll be a little bit more obvious. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Here we go. So here's the trade routes on. Here they are off. Okay, now the magic of this GeoInquiry is that all the layers that have already been added for you essentially unlock clues for you and your students. So by following the GeoInquiry directions, you're going to put these clues together to notice patterns and relationships that lead you to some pretty neat discoveries. So I can go back to the student worksheet and I'll see that it says click the link above to launch the map. That's what we did. With the details button depressed, click the button content. That's what we just did right here, the middle button that says content. So really this is step by step. If your students can read, they can be successful in this entire GeoInquiry. Well, let's go and look at the teacher version now. Same thing. We are going to now answer the first question. It says, click the most southerly black pop-up located in Southeast Asia and read the information provided. So this is already a ton of geography skills. Let's look down here. The most southerly black point, okay, here it is. It says read below before clicking the next black point. According to the Center for Disease Control, the bacteria that causes plague, Yersinia pestis, maintain their existence in a cycle involving rodents and their fleas. In urban areas or places with dense rat infestations, the plague bacteria can cycle between rats and their fleas. I'm going to go back now to the GeoInquiry directions, and it says, what were some factors that might have influenced the spread of the plague? Okay, this is where students, from what they read, are able to answer the question. We can see that here in the student version, that they'll be able to type, once I make a copy that they can edit, type directly below the question. And you can add your own questions as well, but you can see now that you'll continue this cycle of clicking and answering questions, and the questions get more complex as the GeoInquiry goes on, so that students can start layering the clues that they're finding and make connections on their own. Super fun. Okay, so this is what a GeoInquiry actually looks like. Now I'd like to show you what it looks like to have a GeoInquiry happening in your classroom. Let's take a look.